Coming up on this episode of Design to the Nines, I'm going to be knocking off this Pottery Barn craft table, and we're going to be doing it for around 10% of the cost. Plus, I'm spilling the beans on a dirty little secret. If that sounds good to you, stay tuned. Welcome to Design to the Nines. I'm Natalie Callahan, and if this is the first time we're meeting, welcome to my channel, where I teach you the skills you need to renovate and decorate your own homes and do it on a budget. If that sounds good to you, I'd invite you to stick around by hitting that subscribe button and make sure you turn on that bell notification as well, so you don't miss out on a thing. Now, if you've been here a while, thank you for your continued support. And I bet you know what this week is, and that is the Girls Can Use Power Tools Challenge. I love this challenge because I want to power women to use power tools and not be so intimidated by them. So if you think girls should be using power tools too, then type girl power in the comment section below. This month's co-host is Ashley Lauren. She has an unbelievable DIY and decor channel. She has amazing taste and she's really fun to watch to boot. So if you're not familiar with Ashley's channel, I'll put her link below and you can pop on over after you watch my episode. And then after hers, we've got a playlist full of amazingly talented women, and I'd invite you to check out their channels and episodes as well. Now you're going to want to stick with me to the very end because I do have some announcements for the channel that you're not going to want to miss, so make sure you stay tuned with me and hold on with me. I promise to share with you a dirty little secret. All right, don't judge. I didn't even clean up for you, but I wanted to be real and authentic with you and really illustrate why I really need to redo this room. This room, you can see, is right at the top of our stairs. It's the loft room. It's meant to be used as a family room. And it's going to be my craft room slash workspace, and you are going to be seeing a lot of my tutorials in this room. Right now, this is what it looks like. Look, my new Cricut machine is on the floor. That is bad. That's not where it should be going. I've got stacks of books, a desk that I never use. It's just not functional. I think it was built for a kid. Do you still love me? So we're going to build the Pottery Barn craft table. We're going to build it right here, and I've got some tips and tricks, so let's get started. We are going to start out by building these cubby organizers. I got mine from Target. You can find them at Walmart. You can really find them all over. And if you're lucky, you can find one already pre-built, maybe like on the Facebook Marketplace or something like that. If you're lucky enough for that, you can skip a bunch of these steps. I'm going to build these for you, show you how it's done, show you that we can do it. And then I'll also provide some links below if you need to locate some for this project. So on the Pottery Barn version, I noticed that's really all the base was two 36 by 36 inch shelves with cubby space. I'm like, that's easy. So this bottom part we're just going to put together with pre-built stuff, and then we're going to take a trip to Home Depot and get a couple of supplies for the tabletop. P.S. I love knocking off things because I love being able to get that designer look for less and not forking over all the cash. I am always looking for things to knock off, things that you want to see me do. So hit me up in the comment section below with certain brands and items that you want to see me knock off, and I'll see what I can do. Okay, so we're going to break this out of the box and put it together. Now, we're going to actually follow the directions. They make them for a reason. So we're really going to go step by step through those instructions, and we're going to build a shelf. So our two shelves are done. The first one took a little bit longer, but it was really not that long. And then the second one went in probably half the time because we knew what we were doing that time around. Now I used a drill. In the instructions it said to go ahead and use a Phillips screwdriver. You can do what you want, but using the drill definitely made the job go much faster. So now it's time to build our top for our craft table, and for that we're going to need to take a trip to Home Depot. So a couple of months ago I said to my husband, I really need a truck to be able to pick up some of the supplies I need at the home improvement store. And so my husband, being the awesome guy that he is, he totally agreed, but of course he had to put his own spin on it. So I am driving a Dodge Viper truck. It's the fastest production truck that they make. So if I am ever in a real hurry to go to the home improvement store, I am golden. So thanks, honey. I always get distracted. Look, Christmas trees. They also have Halloween stuff, so from Halloween to Christmas, they got you covered. All right, here is the section that we need. I am needing some sort of plywood. I'm kind of thinking MDF, but I gotta see what they've got here. Okay, so I know that this is a girls can use power tools challenge, but I am gonna have them cut down my sheets because I don't have a table saw, and we're still using power tools in this, but if you don't have a table saw, go ahead and have them cut it down, or if you're just nervous, have them make some cuts for you. All right, I am back from the home improvement store, and this is where you are going to have some decisions to make for yourself. I am trying to knock off the Bedford project table as closely as possible, and I've thought about a lot of different ways how to go about this, and so I have a plan. If you want to build just these cubby shelves and slap a piece of wood on top of it, screw it down, paint it, and call it a day, this would be sufficient to do some crafting on. So that's going to be your call. But again, we are trying to knock off the Pottery Barn version, and we're going to get that as close as possible. Also, the way that we're going to go about it is going to make it a little bit more stable, a little bit more sturdy, and that's never a bad thing. What we're going to do is we've got to make this top a little bit thicker, a little bit more stable. And then as you can see, I've got some panels on the inside. What it came with for the cubbies were 5 of these cardboard pieces that they folded in half, and there's one for every other one. You don't have to put anything on the back if you don't want to, but it does leave an unfinished edge on the inside, and I'm not okay with that. And plus, the original version also has the back entirely filled in. So I just picked up some inexpensive plywood at the store. It was like $11 for a huge sheet. I've got tons of leftovers from both the MDF and the thinner veneer. So if you're doing this project with me, hang on to those pieces because you know I'm going to do something with the scraps. Before I attach them, I am going to paint at least one side of them because these white shelves are already painted, and so we're going to take care of that prior to attaching them. In order to make our table more sturdy, I'm using some 2x4s to build kind of like a frame, and I'm not doing it upright, but I'm doing it flat. Now, because we don't want to see butt joints, we are going to be doing some miter cuts. Remember, if you're working with a saw, make sure you cover your eyes with some protective eyewear. Make sure you're calm, cool, and collected. It's not that hard. We can do this. After you know that your first cut is great, then you can go ahead and use that as your pattern for your next one. It makes the job quicker, and then you know that they're precise and that they're going to match up. So I've got my frame clamped to the table topper. We're going to screw it to the top from the underside. The way we're going to do this is we're going to pre-drill for our screws. And then what we're going to do is take a larger screw, and we're going to just screw in just a hair just so we can countersink our screws. All right, so we'll put in our larger bit. And then we'll go right where we pre-drilled those holes and just barely go down just so you can countersink the screw. Perfect. You don't have to do much, just enough to get it down a little bit, because the last thing we want is for our screw to go all the way through. Definitely what we don't want to do. All right, perfect. So we've got the frame screwed on, and now we can flip it over, see how it looks, and then we're going to do some spackling just to make sure it's nice and smooth. We'll sand that down, then we'll paint it up, and then we'll attach it to the bottom shelves. All right, so everything is now painted, and now it's time for finishing touches. So I've pre-painted the backs, and now we're gonna nail them on. You could just take a hammer and nails and use the nails that came in with the shelves. I've got a nail gun, and it just always makes the job so much easier. So I'm gonna be using this. And so just make sure that everything is lined up and looking good. I love my nail gun because this is going to be easy. Oh! All right, so you can see that I have everything flipped over, and I've created about an inch lip all the way around. So now we're going to pre-drill some holes into our shelves so that we can put screws right into the top. Because this is kind of a slippery surface, this laminate, we're going to use some painter's tape just so that it has something to grip to, as well as prevent some of that chipping that can happen. So the final step is just to install 2 support brackets on either side. This is something that's on the original, and just will add a little bit of more stability between the 2 bookcases. So I'm just going to actually just drive some screws into them on either side, and then we'll do some touch-up paint, and I'll do the reveal. All right, our craft table is done, and I am sitting on it just to show you how sturdy it is. So this is something that you can do even if you're a beginner. It just takes some simple skills that hopefully you gained by watching this tutorial. So you could go and buy the Pottery Barn one for $1,300, or you could build this one for around $120 and save over 90% and keep a little cash to yourself. But I am extremely happy with this one. Now you'll have to let me know in the comment section below if you want to see some more tutorials about my craft room. I've got some ideas for organization over here, and then of course we're going to get a wall unit behind me so that there will be plenty of places to store my crafting supplies. Now that you've watched my episode, make sure you pop on over to Ashley's channel and check out her episode, and then also buzz through the playlist of all the amazing and talented ladies. So I promised you some announcements. The first announcement is this is my last Girls Can Use Power Tools challenge for 2019. It will be coming back in January 2020, so don't despair if you really like this challenge. We will be back, so watch for that. Coming up on November 4th, 2 p.m. Eastern, I am teaming up with Jennifer from A Little Bit of Calm and Crazy to host an open collaboration called the Ultimate Christmas Wreath Playlist. I did this in the fall, and it was an absolute blast, so if you would like to participate in that with us, check my community page for details. Also coming up, starting next week, is going to be Christmas tutorials galore. So I hope you enjoy those. And if there's anything you'd like to see me do Christmas-wise, pop it in the comment section below. I'd love to know. I'm always looking for ideas. I read all of your comments, and I really take them to heart. So if you've got an idea for me for a knockoff or anything, let me know. Also, let me know what you think of this knockoff. Do you think I did a good job? So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button below, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn the bell notifications on so you don't miss a thing. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.